1956. A kitchen in Indiana. 6:10 on a Wednesday evening. A man in work boots comes through the screen door. His lunchbox hits the counter. She's at the stove with her back to him. He crosses the linoleum, puts his hand on the small of her back, and kisses her on the mouth. Not the cheek, not a word spoken yet. They've been married 11 years. They'll be married 47 more. These are 15 small, quiet habits that held marriages together for decades. None cost more than a cup of coffee. Everyone has vanished. Now, before we dive in, if you find this helpful, tap that subscribe button. You will not want to miss what is coming next. Number 15. The Sunday Drive to Nowhere. Every Sunday after dinner, couples got in the car and drove. No destination, no errand, no reason except to be together in a moving vehicle with the windows down. A Chevrolet Bel Air or a Ford Fairlane, whatever was parked in the driveway. 2-lane county roads, not the highway. The AM radio turned low or switched off entirely. Her hand resting on the bench seat between them. His arm stretched along the seat back behind her shoulders. Gas cost 27 cents a gallon in 1955. A Sunday drive ran less than a dime. The smell of cut hay drifting through the open window. Cows standing at the fence line, watching the car roll past. A church steeple visible 3 towns over in the flat light. The road curving past a farmhouse with laundry still on the line. Sometimes the children rode in the back, but often it was just the two of them, after church, after the dishes were done. The car was the last truly private room in their lives. No telephone ringing, no television playing, no neighbors stopping by, no children pulling at a sleeve. Conversation happened because there was nothing else to do. The road unspooled, and so did the words they had been saving all week. The car did not need a destination. The destination was each other. But the Sunday drive only worked once a week. The real glue showed up every other evening. And it started on Friday night with a stack of envelopes and a pencil. Number 14. The envelope budget system. On payday, couples sat together at the kitchen table and divided the cash into labeled envelopes. Groceries, rent, gas, church, and savings. When an envelope was empty, the spending stopped. Friday evening under the ceiling light, his pay envelope torn open and smooth flat on the Formica. Craft paper envelopes labeled in pencil. Real bills counted by hand and sorted into piles. Coins stacked in small towers, both of them sitting right across from each other, both seeing every single dollar. No credit card, no separate account, no hidden purchase. The Sears Roebuck bill paid first, then the electric company, then the milk money for the children. Whatever was left went into the envelope marked savings and got tucked in the back of the drawer. Financial secrecy was nearly impossible when every dollar had a name written on it in pencil. The system forced partnership. It forced honesty. Today, the average American household carries over $10,000 in credit card debt. Those couples carried envelopes. They did not need a financial advisor. They needed a kitchen table and a pencil. Number 13. The front porch, after supper. After the dishes were washed and the children sent outside to play, couples sat on the front porch together. That was the evening. The metal glider swing with the chipped green paint. 2 aluminum lawn chairs angled toward the street. A glass of iced tea sweating in the heat. Maybe a bottle of beer. Maybe nothing at all. Crickets starting up in the grass. Fireflies blinking low over the yard after dark. The neighbor's sprinkler ticking back and forth across the sidewalk, waving at the Hendersons across the street, watching cars drift past, slow enough to recognize the driver. His cigarette glowing faint in the near dark, her feet tucked beneath her on the cushion. neither one in a hurry to go inside, the sky going from blue to orange to violet while they sat perfectly still. No air conditioning pulling them inside. The porch was cooler than the house in July. This was not entertainment. This was decompression together. Being bored in the same place at the same time turned out to be its own kind of intimacy. They did not call it quality time. They called it Tuesday. Number 12. The Saturday Night Dance. Couples went dancing together at the VFW Hall, the Elks Lodge, the Knights of Columbus, or the American Legion. A live band on a small stage, a waxed floor, his hand on her waist. Admission was 50 cents to $1 per couple, a local 4-piece band, saxophone, piano, stand-up bass, drums. His good shoes polished that afternoon. Her best dress pressed and hanging on the bedroom door since morning. The foxtrot, the waltz, the two-step, the slow dance where her cheek pressed against his collar and neither one spoke. A paper cup of punch from the long table by the wall. The drive home afterward with the radio off and the warmth still between them. Dancing required physical contact, eye contact, moving in rhythm with another human being. That is not a metaphor. That is the literal mechanics of trust, practiced on a wooden floor every Saturday night. The whole town watched him hold his wife. The marriage was public. The commitment was visible. He did not take her dancing because he liked to dance. He took her because she liked to be held. Number 11. The Couples Bowling League. But it was not just the Saturday nights that built lasting marriages. Some of the most lasting bonds in America were forged in the noisiest, cheapest rooms in town. Husband and wife teams bowled together in weekly leagues at the local alley. Same night every week, same lanes, same opponents, same pitcher of beer on the scoring table. A game cost about 25 cents in the 1950s. Bowling was the working man's country club, open to anyone who could lace up a rented pair of shoes. The crash of pins echoed under a low ceiling. Cigarette smoke drifted through fluorescent light. Pabst Blue Ribbon or Schlitz from the bar. Pretzels in a paper bowl. Team shirts with names stitched on the pocket. They were on the same team. Literally. Working toward the same score on the same sheet every single week. At its peak, tens of millions of Americans bowled in organized leagues. Today, league participation has collapsed by more than 90% from its mid-century highs. You did not cancel for a headache. You did not skip because you were tired. They had a standing appointment every Thursday for 30 years. Nobody called it date night, they called it league. 5 habits, a Sunday drive, a stack of envelopes, a porch swing, a dance floor, a bowling lane. Everyone required the exact same thing. Being in the same room, not the same house. The same room, the same car, the same porch, the same waxed floor. Proximity was not the byproduct of those marriages. Proximity was the strategy. Today, some studies suggest that many modern couples spend less than 20 minutes of uninterrupted, quality time together on an average day. Those couples could not have imagined that number. They would not have believed it. Number 10. The drive-in movie. Couples went to the drive-in theater every week or every other week. It was the cheapest and most private date in mid-century America. $1 per carload on bargain nights, sometimes 50 cents for a double feature. At their peak in the late 1950s, over 4,000 drive-in theaters dotted the American landscape. The metal speaker hooked on the half-rolled window, a wool blanket across her lap, popcorn from the snack bar in a wax paper bag, his arm around her shoulders before the opening credits finished, the screen glowing white against the dark tree line at the far edge of the lot, kids in pajamas asleep in the back seat by the second feature, the smell of bug spray and buttered popcorn in the summer air. It was cheap enough to repeat every single week. That was the point. Consistency, not extravagance. Today, fewer than 300 drive-ins remain in the entire country. $1 and a dark parking lot. That was a date. And it was enough. Number 9. The note in the lunchbox. Wives slipped a small handwritten note into their husband's lunch pail before he walked out the door. A few words on a scrap of paper folded between the wax paper and the thermos. A torn piece of lined notebook paper, or the back of a grocery receipt, written with a ballpoint pen, a Bic, or a Papermate. 5 words, maybe 10. Pork chops tonight. Miss you. The kid said hi. Come home safe. Found at noon in a factory break room, on a loading dock in a machine shop somewhere across town. Read once. Folded. Tucked into a shirt pocket. Some men saved every single one. A shoebox in the back of the closet found by the children only after the funeral. It cost nothing. It took 30 seconds. It meant one thing. I thought of you before you were awake. A woman's handwriting on a torn scrap of paper. That was the original text message, and it carried more weight than anything glowing on a screen ever will. The lunchbox note was a whisper sent into the middle of the day, but the real anchor happened at the same hour every single evening. Number 8. Never eating supper apart. The family ate supper together every night, at the table, all of them seated. This was not negotiable. The table set before he came through the door. Melmac plates or plain white stoneware, meat and potatoes, a vegetable from a can, bread and butter on a saucer in the center. Grace spoken aloud in many homes. Everyone seated before the first fork was lifted. The television off, or not yet owned. No radio at the table. Talk about school, about the shop, about the neighbor's new fence. Dinner at 6 o'clock, not 5:30, not 6:15, 6. Today, fewer than 30% of American families eat dinner together on any given night. In the 1950s, it was nearly universal. The table was the only place where every member of the household stopped moving at the same time. You could not sit across from the same person every evening for 40 years and remain a stranger. The table was not furniture. It was an appointment they kept every night for the life of the marriage. Number 7. The shared morning coffee before anyone else woke. Couples set the alarm early and sat together at the kitchen table with coffee. 15 minutes, sometimes 30, just the two of them before the day had a chance to begin. The Folgers percolator bubbling on the stove, or Maxwell House in the drip pot. A pound of coffee cost about 79 cents, 5:30 in the morning. The kitchen still dark except for the light over the stove. 2 cups on the table. The clink of a spoon against ceramic. The hiss of the percolator finishing its cycle. A quiet that did not exist at any other hour in that house. Sometimes they talked, sometimes they did not. Both counted. They gave the first minutes of every day to each other, before the children, before the job, before the world outside that kitchen door had a claim on either one of them. They chose each other first, every single morning. Nobody told them to. Nobody had to. Number 6. Fighting only behind closed doors. When they fought, and they did fight, they walked into the bedroom and pulled the door shut. The children never heard the words. The neighbors never knew it happened. The door closed firmly. Voices dropped to an urgent whisper. The children on the other side of the wall heard nothing, or maybe the faint hum of grown-up conversation, too low to follow. When the door opened again, both of them were composed. He took out the trash. She finished the ironing. The kitchen went back to normal. Nobody mentioned it. No calling her mother to report the details. No telling the man next door over the back fence. No public confession of private grief. The marriage was protected in public. Always. Conflict existed, and it was real. but it was contained, private, handled between the only two people it involved. Dignity was the rule nobody had to write down. You could be angry, you could not be undignified. They did not call it emotional regulation, they called it manners. None of these habits cost money, not one. The Sunday drive cost a dime, the morning coffee cost pennies, the lunchbox note cost nothing at all. Today, the average couple spends well over $200 a month on date nights, streaming subscriptions, and relationship apps. The couples therapy industry employs over 125,000 licensed professionals in this country alone, and nearly half of all first marriages still end in divorce. In 1950, fewer than 1 in 5 did. Those couples never read a single book about love languages. They never scheduled a communication workshop. They showed up every day, in the same room, at the same table, at the same hour. That was the investment. And it paid dividends no professional has ever matched. Number 5, the fix it together. Saturday, when something in the house broke, they fixed it together. When something needed building, they built it side by side. Saturday morning at the Ace Hardware on Main Street, or the Sears catalog spread open on the kitchen table, both of them pointing at the same page. Sears Craftsman Tools, bought once and guaranteed for life. Painting a room together, one rolling the walls while the other cut in at the edges. He held the ladder. She handed up the gutter brackets. Wallpaper hung in the bathroom past midnight because they started too late and refused to quit with the job half done. The smell of sawdust, turpentine on a rag, fresh paint drying with the windows cracked. They built the life together. Literally, the fence, the bookshelf, the addition off the back of the kitchen. Nothing was thrown away if it could be saved. Not the toaster that could be rewired, not the chair with the loose leg, not the marriage. They did not hire someone. They did not replace it. They fixed it together. That was not a home improvement philosophy. That was a marriage philosophy. Number 4, church together every Sunday morning. Couples attended services together every week. Same pew, same hymnal, same handshake with the pastor at the door on the way out. His one good suit pressed the night before. Her hat and gloves laid out on the dresser since dawn. The children scrubbed and silent in the back seat. The hymnal held open between husband and wife, her soprano and his baritone, neither one a gifted singer. The slow walk to the car afterward. The drive home with the windows down. The children out of their church clothes before the car engine cooled. The pot roast already in the oven from early morning, filling the house when they came through the front door. They shared a moral framework, a weekly reset, a public declaration that they believed in something larger than the argument from Wednesday night. The community saw them together every week without fail. That visibility was its own kind of accountability. Sunday morning was not only about faith, it was about rhythm, the same place, the same hour, the same commitment, made visible 52 times a year. Number 3, the same booth every anniversary. Couples went back to the same restaurant on the same date every single year. Some returned to the place from their very first date. The location never changed. That was the whole point. A steak dinner for 2 cost about $3.50 in 1955. The waitress knew their names by year 5, and she had their water poured before they sat down. Her good dress, the one saved for occasions. His tie pulled from the back of the closet. The children left with her sister for the evening. The same table by the window, the same bread basket, the same view of the parking lot where he once opened the car door for her on a night when neither of them knew what the next 50 years would look like. The menu prices climbed every year. The booth never moved. Repetition was the ritual. The sameness was the message. I would choose this again. this table, this restaurant, this person across from me. They did not need a new experience. They needed the same one, and that was the proof. Number 2, the goodnight kiss without exception. Every night before sleep, they kissed each other goodnight after an argument, in total silence, when neither one felt like it, every single night. The click of the bedside lamp, the house gone dark, the furnace humming low in the basement, a brief kiss, not passionate, not performed for anyone watching, just deliberate, after the worst fights, after the longest shifts at the plant, after the phone call with the bad news. After burying his mother on a Tuesday and coming home to a house that felt too quiet. She kissed him anyway. He kissed her back. The mattress shifting as they turned to their own sides, the quilt pulled to the shoulder, the street light cutting a thin line across the ceiling through the curtain gap. The kiss was not affection. It was a decision, a nightly vote that the marriage was still chosen, still standing, still worth one small gesture before sleep took them both. Some nights it was the only kind thing between them all day. It was enough. The last thing they did every day was choose each other. That was not a habit. That was a vow renewed in the dark without a single word. 15 things. Not one of them was complicated. Not one was expensive. Not one required a professional to explain. And the generation that practiced them stayed married longer than any generation that followed. The numbers are not ambiguous. Something specific was lost, and nothing that replaced it has come close. Number 1, the kitchen table. After the children were in bed, after the children fell asleep, they sat down at the kitchen table. 2 cups of coffee, the house finally quiet, and they talked. 10 o'clock at night. Every bedroom door down the hallway pulled shut. The house still for the first time since dawn. The percolator reheated on the back burner, or a pot of tea steeping under a folded towel. 2 cups on the formica. The clock on the wall ticking loud enough to count. The refrigerator humming in the corner. The occasional creak of the house settling into the cold. They talked about money, about the children, about the brother who was drinking again, about the promotion that did not come through, about the baby they were hoping for, about the one they lost in April and never mentioned in front of anyone else. No one heard these conversations, not the children, not the neighbors, not the minister, not a single living soul. The kitchen light was the only one on in the whole house. From the street, it was just a yellow square glowing in a dark window. This is where the marriage actually lived. Not at the altar, not in the photograph on the mantle, not in the anniversary card signed once a year. At the kitchen table, after everyone else was asleep, in the quiet conversation nobody else would ever hear. Every hard decision was made at that table. Every fear was admitted there. Every plan was drawn on the back of an envelope nobody thought to save. A kitchen table, 2 cups, a closed door, and the sound of a clock. That was the entire infrastructure of a marriage that lasted 50 years. No one could package it, no one could sell it, and no one, it turns out, could replace it. Somewhere tonight, on a street you have driven past 1,000 times, someone's grandmother is sitting at that kitchen table. 2 cups set out, the coffee still warm. The chair across from her is empty now, but she still sits there, because that was their time. And the habits that mattered most do not break just because the other chair is empty. If you want more forgotten wisdom from the generations who came before us, the next video is waiting for you right now.